Hi everyone and welcome for another Apitherapy video. In a time where mission Perseverance just landed on Mars, we are very excited about this, and all of humanity, all eyes are looking at Mars in a specific way. In a time where many think that the survival of humanity is based on discovery of other form of life, of other life habitat, potential planets that could inhabit life. And this is so big in the mindset of humanity right now. Well, I thought, what could apitherapy do with that level of survival, with this principle of survival and of health? How could apitherapy work on this? Well, there is a very simple answer to this. If we look on the other side of planet Earth, instead of looking at Mars, if we look at Venus, well, there is a very old saying that says that bees come from Venus. Well, even if they found some traces of life in the atmosphere of Venus, we are very far from being able to prove that the bees physically come from Venus. Actually, this is quite not probable at all. But that being said, what if what we need from other planets is not necessarily a new place to live because our planet Earth is so polluted that it's kind of a disposable planet or something like this? What if it's not a problem of overpopulation of planet Earth? What if what we need from other planets is mainly a point of view, a philosophy, a way of living? Of course, on another planet, life forms are different because they have to adapt to where they live. So what if that idea, that saying that bees come from Venus, is there just to show us a certain angle, a certain point of view, a certain philosophy that will help us to survive better and live with a better health situation for our humanity and for our planet Earth? Okay, let's consider this and let's look at the connections on a philosophical point of view between Venus and the bees. I'm gonna underline 3 different points here. The first one, well, most of you know that bees don't keep the drones, don't keep the male bees in during winter time. They actually let them die outside, finish their life cycle, and they're not kept in the beehive. They don't have to survive the winter because the female bees will have everything they need to start the beehive, to start the life cycle of the beehive again in spring, in the following spring. So their focus is put on the female bees, on the feminine side of things. And of course, most of you know that Venus is representing woman, is representing the feminine side of things. Very often you see that symbol, Mars for men, Venus for woman. Everybody know this, that symbol there. So that's one connection right there. Another one, bees always go on flowers. That's where they find their food. And they actually depend on flowers. And flowers very often also depends on bees to fertilize them. So again, bees are connected to beauty, to flowers, to fertility. This again is a symbol of Venus, very, very known again, nothing too special, very simple and plain. Another level of correspondence, the third one, is the fact that bees produce honey. Now, honey is very sweet, and the bees make a lot of honey, and they are able even to share it. So there's a sweet sharing, and this again is exactly the flavor, exactly the what Venus is representing as a symbol in pretty much all traditions, that sweet side of Venus that we all love and care for. Now, this might sound childish, those connections, but if you think about it, if you think about how humanity is going nowadays, how competition is at the base of most systems that are performing in our society right now. If you think about so many countries where the situation, the status of women is so bad, like there's so bad things happening for women in so many countries, it's shameful for humanity where we're at. When you think about pollution, how this competition based society is actually creating so much pollution. Well, when you look at this, you feel how the feminine side of things is not respected, how pollution is affecting this Mother Earth that we all often call Mother Earth, that feminine side of our universe as a humanity. So that kind of philosophy from Venus, from the bees, isn't there a few secrets hidden there that we could benefit from a lot for our own survival, instead of based on a competition model, on a performance model, very masculine, fly out into space and try to colonize more planets and find traces of life everywhere else? That's a very Martian way of thinking, because Mars is representing men very often. You've seen this symbol before. So you see the difference there? You see how apitherapy, how that philosophy of the bees, and it's their behavior, it's their actual behavior, because that's why that saying is actually outlining the fact that bees come from Venus, because they actually live with behaviors that are totally connected with the mindset needed actually on the symbolic side of Venus, not on the physical one for sure. But they actually live under those principles that feminine is very important. And they prove that that way of thinking and of that behavior of being centered around beauty, because that's where they find their food, on something very subtle, and it don't destroy anything. They're very peaceful, very, very feminine. And they show how that is efficient, because bees are surviving on our planet Earth since a really, really long time, as long as the plant with flowers arrived on Earth. They are really, really an old species on our planet, and they're proving that those principles from Venus, let's say, are very efficient for our survival and for a healthy lifestyle and a healthy planet. Actually, they're just amazing. So very simple, with no pretension at all. I just wanted to share this with you, share that point of view, how apitherapy is actually working on that survival aspect of our humanity, and how that competes with mission perseverance, actually, in some level. So thank you very much for listening. I know it may sound a bit childish, but if you think about it, if you ponder on this a bit more, you'll see it's actually pretty deep. So thank you very much for listening, and see you another time for another apitherapy video.